Wow, ladies and gentlemen, Trump is somehow early. All right, welcome everybody. I was not expecting him for at least another hour. I thought we would have the Bernie rally first and then the Scrumps rally, but I don't know what's going on. He's somehow early, and I guess he must have something to do. I don't know. Welcome everybody. We do have a moment here as Donald Trump is coming out. This is the third stream in 4 days, and we will be back tomorrow. We will be back Tuesday. It's just stream after stream after stream. I can't thank you enough for being here. We have a goal of 1,000 members and Twitch subscribers carrying over to Tuesday. We are 67.9% of the way there. Wait, that doesn't make sense. How is 677 67.9? Bad math. We're 67.7% of the way there. It is stream central, wide streams, steady streams, uninterrupted, high flow streaming. And it is great to have everybody here. This is a Marco Rubio rally, notably not a Ron DeSantis or Ron DeSanctimonious rally, because Trump is feuding with DeSantis. Narcissists don't like competition. They do not like it one bit. Exactly. Thank you to S. Prez for dumping in 13 subscriptions to jump us up to 690. Welcome to JP DeBeast putting us at 691. Folks, everybody who signs up during this deranged, histrionic, and dangerous rally will push us towards 1,000. And let's listen. Here we go. Look at this guy.
Oh, what a place. Hello, Miami. And this is a great honor for Marco. I can tell you it's great to be here in my home state of Florida. This is my home state. With thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots, incredible people. Just 2 days from now, the people of Florida are going to re-elect the wonderful, the great friend of mine, Marco Rubio, to the United States Senate. And you're going to re-elect Ron DeSantis as your governor of the state.
Oh, that's weird.
And you're going to elect an incredible slate of true MAGA warriors to Congress, many of whom are here right now. I think oral here. They're all here.
Oral here. That's strange.
You're going to vote for America First Republicans. This is what it is, America First. When they say policy, the policy is very simple. It's called America First. Up and down the ballot, Republican, and we're going to end crazy Nancy Pelosi's political career once and for all. Once and for all. Under Biden, Pelosi, Schumer, and the radical Democrat Congress, Florida workers and families are under siege.
It's funny, huh?
We have a feisty crowd today, Marco. We have a this is a feisty group of people. That's what we want. That's what we want. Biden and the far-left lunatics are waging war on your jobs, your safety, your values, and your freedom. They're strangling Florida families. They're hitting Florida very hard with soaring prices and devastating what they're doing to tourism. If you think about it, tourism and hospitality service industries with crippling inflation and a dollar, and nobody talks about this, that's valued at a level that makes our country unable to compete with other countries, especially in tourism and in manufacturing. If you take a look at the dollar, it's very hard to compete with other countries, and that's what they're doing. Maybe they want it that way. Who knows? We want America first. We want Make America Great Again. It's very simple. We have to keep our country very simple. The southern border is wide open. Millions of illegal aliens are pouring in. Violent crime is out of control, and the far left is indoctrinating our children with twisted race and gender insanity in our schools. Other than that, they're doing great, right? How these people happened and how they've been able to do this to our country is a disgrace. There's only one choice to end this madness. If you support the decline and fall of America, then you must go out and vote for the radical left Democrats. And if you want to stop the destruction of our country and save the American dream, you don't hear too much about the American dream over the last 2 years, then this Tuesday you must go out and vote Republican in this giant red wave, Uncle Sam, giant red wave that they're all talking about. They're all talking about a red wave. Let's hope that materializes, and I think it will. Like, I mean, look at this crowd. Look at the enthusiasm. The enthusiasm.
This is all pretty dystopian.
Pennsylvania. Thank you.
People were shouting to
Thank you. So last night I was in Pennsylvania, Latrobe. You know Latrobe? That's the home of the great Arnold Palmer. We love Arnold Palmer.
Oh, no. Please don't do that story again. That was brutal last night. I almost gouged my eyes out.
Obama and Biden, we call them O-Biden. Obama and O-Biden. O-Biden, because it's the same thing. They were in another place in Pennsylvania, and they drew flies. You know, they drew flies. And
It was a pretty big crowd, actually, for Obama.
Marco, look at all of the fake news. Wow. Wow. Wow, that's a lot of fake news. That's a lot of them.
What are these people screaming? It's totally incoherent.
Yeah, fake news never talked about the crowd. We had an unbelievable record crowd. You couldn't get in. The place was packed as far as the eye could see. And they had a place all empty seats. It was a disaster. But they don't say. They just say Trump was there and Biden was there and Obama, Barack Hussein Obama was there. And they don't talk about that. By the way, if it was the other way around, it would be headlines all over the place. There's no more urgent task for the future of our country than to stop the invasion on our southern border. It's an invasion, like a military invasion would be not much different. 2 years ago, we had the strongest southern border in American history. 2 years ago. Seems like a long time ago, doesn't it? When you see what's happened to our country, because our country's going to hell. Now it's the worst border in my opinion, the history of the world. No third world country would ever allow to happen to them what we've allowed. They would use sticks and stones. They wouldn't allow millions of people that they don't know anything about to enter their country and to take over their country. It's an invasion. Biden, Pelosi, and the radical Democrats spend all of their time obsessing over the borders of distant foreign nations. Americans deserve a Congress and a president who will protect the borders of our country,
Do you think a crowd like this understands that the things Trump is saying are opinions? Is that something a crowd like this gets, do you think?
Thank you. This year, more Americans will die of fentanyl and drug overdose than the number of Ukrainians killed in a gruesome and bloody war that should have never happened, would have never happened. Yet Biden and the radical Democrats do nothing to stop the lethal poisons pouring across our borders. They do nothing. They do nothing. They're coming in, and they're not coming in at 2 million, 3 million. It's 10 million. It's probably more than that. You're talking about numbers that nobody's ever seen before. Since the end of the Trump administration, the drug cartels have seen their revenue skyrocket by an astounding 2,500%. That's not bad, Uncle Sam, right? Look at Uncle Sam's state.
If there's anything in our favor today, is that it's 81 degrees and Trump is in direct sunlight. So hopefully this will keep him not speaking for very long.
For this election is very simple. Democrats will defund the police. Republicans will defund the cartels.
No national Democrat is running on defund the police. Not a single national Democrat is running on defund the police.
All of the Congress people here. We waged war on the cartels like they've never seen, and we did a big job, and we were really knocking it out. We ended catch and release. We stopped asylum fraud. We built hundreds of miles of border wall, hundreds of miles. And despite 2.5 years of Democrat lawsuits, they sued us. They kept suing us. I think there were 11 lawsuits. We won them all after 2.5 years, delayed us for 2.5 years. They fought us on every single thing you could. I guess they really want, these people are crazy. They want open borders. We completely finished our original border wall plan. Then we added much more wall when we looked at certain areas that were loose. And we almost got that finished. 3 more weeks. And it would have taken 3 more weeks to finish it. They could have done it in 3 weeks. It was all set to go. The wall was sitting there ready to be installed, and they didn't want to do it. Right. That's when
he did 300 miles in 4 years, and he was going to do the other 650 miles in 3 weeks. Totally believable.
They took those big and expensive wall planks and they moved them to another location so that Arizona, Texas, and other places couldn't just put them up. It would have taken minutes. But that's when I realized these people they're sick. They're sick. And every day these Democrat policies are getting innocent Americans killed like nobody can believe. Just weeks ago, an illegal alien in Deltona, Florida, was charged with horrifically stabbing his wife to death in front of their 3 children before slitting his own throat. He was here illegally. He had massive mental problems.
So that was another glitch. Do you think the crowd knows to wear sunscreen if they come to such an event?
He was charged with savagely murdering a wonderful married couple who were riding their bicycles near their home in Daytona Beach. Murdered them, stabbed them.
When he said Deltona, did he mean Daytona? Or is there a place called Deltona, Florida? Was that also part of a glitch?
Murders that the police department in that area, and we love them and we love all of law enforcement, had
there
ever
is
seen.
A Deltona, okay.
And last year, an illegal alien in Polk County was charged with violently beating to death a 74-year-old woman, stealing her money and burying her body in a shallow grave. They found it. When Republicans retake Congress, and they will, and they should, and if they don't, our country will be doomed. Our country will be doomed. But when Republicans retake Congress, we must immediately force the restoration of our southern border. We have to do.
I agree with this super chat from our friend Bay Photo. Something about this, the energy here, feels extra dangerous. I completely agree.
Border Patrol agents. Isn't it interesting? They fight us on the Second Amendment. They fight us on guns and guns that we need for safety, and yet they're allowed to have the IRS agents carry guns. So 88,000. If we're going to make America great again, we first have to make America safe again. We can't have a great country that's not safe. Under the radical left Democrats, the streets of our cities are ruled by bloodthirsty gangs and violent criminals. Much of the crime wave is caused by drug dealers who, during the course of their lives, will kill an average of 500 American citizens.
That is a lie that he has repeated dozens of times. There is no way you could even generously interpret what he's saying to make that anywhere near true. It is not true. It's a lie, and he repeats it at every rally.
Which will, upon its passage, reduce drug distribution and reduce crime in our nation by more than 75%. On one day, you know, I used to appoint blue ribbon committees. Nice people like Uncle Sam would put him on. A lot of nice people. But you know, they were very wonderful. They'd talk and talk and talk. Nothing would happen. And they'd be afraid to do anything anyway. These wonderful blue ribbon committees made of dilettantes and socialites, and lots of people wanted to be on them. But that's not the way. I was in China, and I met with President Xi, and I said to him, he thought probably somewhat naively, I was a little bit embarrassed, 1.5 billion people. He's president for life, just got president for life. I called him The king. I said, King, what do you think? No, I am not.
There are times when an American president, even joking about calling a dictator king, would be seen as something to completely unilaterally denounced by Republicans and Democrats.
No drug problem. He didn't even know what the hell I was talking about. I said, well, why don't you have a drug problem? Death penalty, immediate. We have quick trial. What's a quick trial? A quick trial is they catch the drug dealer, and within a period of 48 hours, the trial is over. And if he's guilty, unfortunately, they have no choice. They use the death penalty. And you know what happened? They have literally no problem. No problem. We would have the same, if we had a meaningful penalty, death penalty. It's not something I want to talk about, but somebody has to. You would stop crime and drugs in this country immediately without all of this nonsense. Right now, if you get caught, they give you a jail for a half a day. They don't do anything. They give you
a jail. Wow.
You would have
just the run of a jail.
I mean, no, we have no problem whatsoever. And when I said why, I sort of understood why. And you take a look at Singapore and other countries, wherever they have this, they have absolutely no drug problem. You know where the drug dealers, you know where they came? They came to the United States, Marco. They came to the United States of America, where nobody does anything to them. Nobody does anything to murderers. Actually, if you look at the Democrat-run cities, they kill somebody, and the next night, they're back on the street, allowed to do it again. With a Republican Congress, we must also pass critical funding to hire thousands more police officers nationwide in order to put the violent criminals behind bars and keep them behind bars. We can stop crime so easy. We have to give the authority back to the police. They know how to do it. They're waiting to do it, but they don't want to lose their wife. They don't want to lose their pension. They don't want to lose their house, their family. They're waiting to do it.
What does that mean? They don't want to lose their wife. How is that? What does that have to do with anything?
Want safety for your family and security for your community, you need to vote every Democrat out of office and vote for Republicans up and down the ballot. Up and down the ballot.
Was that a glitch and he meant life? That's interesting, huh?
Is there any better place to be than a Marco Rubio rally? This is a Marco rally. We got to make sure you win big against a radical left crazy person. One of the worst and most sinister aspects of the Biden administration is their complete and total corruption of our justice system and the rule of law. You see what's happening? Before our very eyes, Biden and his left-wing handlers are turning America into a police state, like something straight out of a communist country. You know, I don't say socialist anymore because we've skipped over socialism.
Trump's like, listen, I don't know what either of them mean, so I'm going to the one that gets the biggest rise out of people, and that's communism.
Activists persecuting their political opponents, silencing dissent. They are really going to silence dissent. Can you believe it? And in the case of Joe, he doesn't know too much about what they're talking. I don't know. I don't even believe it's Joe. I'm going to ask Marco about that later. But he wants dissent silenced and using the full force of government, law enforcement, and the media to try and defeat our movement. And just this week, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled in effect that I was 100% right, and the 2020 presidential election in Pennsylvania was riddled with ballots that should never have been counted. Think of that.
By the way, that's completely untrue. The ruling was about ballots that didn't have a date in the 2022 primary. Consider the level of dishonesty. If you're a Trump supporter watching right now, Trump just lied to you. Trump just told you that the Pennsylvania Supreme Court decided there was a problem with 2020 and that he probably won Pennsylvania. The ruling was about 2022 primary ballots in Pennsylvania with no date, that those should not be counted.
have to be very careful. We have to be very careful because they view the vote counter as far more important than the candidate. So we have to be we have great candidates, we have great people, but they view the vote counter, think of it, as far more important than the candidate. Instead,
sometimes Trump tells it as the vote counter is more important. Now he's modified the story to say they view the vote counter as more important.
Actions cannot be done anymore. They can't be done anymore. I said, well, okay, now what about 2020? This was hundreds of thousands of votes, and it was only one form of cheating. There are many forms of cheating, but it was far more votes than we needed to win the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And think of it, they said, it can't be done anymore, but let's forget about 2020. Okay? So what the hell is that all about? So they said we were right, but they said, I'm sorry, we're not doing anything about 2020. You think they like me? I don't think they like me too much. And this went on, by the way, this went on in many other swing states. Went on in many, many other swing states. How about where you have more votes than you have voters? You ever hear that? More
Didn't happen.
Votes than you have voters, by a lot, in a lot of places.
Name 'em.
Every freedom-loving American needs to understand that the time to stand up to this growing left-wing tyranny is right now. You have to stand up right now. If you want to save your rights and liberties, you have to start by dealing a humiliating rebuke to the radical left maniacs that are running in this election. And you have a lot of them. Marco has one of them as his opponent, in my opinion.
She is the candidate that actually supports the police and is a former officer. That's the crazy thing. Val Demings is everything these people would like to imagine that they are and more.
You have to crush the communists at the ballot box. I don't say socialists anymore. I don't say socialists anymore.
By the way, quick interlude. The Piers Morgan people are talking to me about appearing tomorrow to talk with Piers about the 2022 election. But they need me to answer 12 questions about my political views in writing and have a phone call between now and 3 o'clock tomorrow. That's insanely disrespectful of my time, right? Like, I can't, that's crazy.
The greatest people. They are great. Many, many are here. Who happens to...
It's like, guys, I'm streaming every day, yet I can't write an essay about my views for Piers.
That's... great people. Many Hispanic Americans have roots in nations that have been destroyed by these vile ideologies. Mexico and...
You know, Mike did me on 60 Minutes. We have to keep our country great, but it's not.
Oh, do I love you too?
That's a good idea. If we get to the 1,000 subscriptions tonight, I will write them back and say, F you, Piers. Get the hell out of here. I've got better things to do.
These vile ideologies, and they don't want to see it happen here, and it can happen here. When I was campaigning originally in 2016 and in 2020, where we did much better than we did in 2016, but these are minor details, we used to talk about it, and I would constantly talk about that. The Hispanics, you know, when I talked about the border, and you know who the biggest fans of that were? The Hispanics. Latinos. They knew more about the border than anybody.
Right. This is what you call pandering.
About it. Everybody said, oh, he's going to hurt himself with Hispanics. Actually, it turned out to be the exact opposite. We are setting records. We're setting records. They understood crime much better than the fools that we have in D.C. To every Hispanic American in Florida and across the land, we welcome you to our party and our movement with open, 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 beautiful arms. You are great people. You are entrepreneurial people, really entrepreneurial. Sometimes you're too entrepreneurial. I'm trying to make deals with people. I can't make a deal. They're too tough.
Uh-oh.
You're warm people, you're proud people, and we love you all, and we really do. And it's so great to see. Even the crazy New York Times today had a big piece about Hispanics coming to the Republican Party. And a lot of people say it's the Trump Party that they're coming to. I'm saying, let it be the Republican Party. But you do like me, I know that. You do like me.
You people really like me.
The radical Democrats want to turn America into communist Cuba or socialist Venezuela. In the Republican Party, we are determined that America will never be a socialist country, and America will, sure as hell, we can't let this happen, be a communist country. And you know what? If we don't start winning these elections and winning them big,
I think I like last night's Obama better than communist.
This country, because that's where they're taking it. And we're not going to allow that to happen. For 6 straight years, the witch hunts, hoaxes, and abuses have been coming fast and furious. First, we learned they spied on my campaign. How about spying on, let's say, Obama's campaign? How would that be, Marco?
Obama.
So that didn't happen. Just as a fact check, and you can find it for yourselves, what happened was the FBI often has suspected criminals under surveillance. The FBI has suspected foreign spies under surveillance. The Trump campaign in 2016 was talking to so many of those suspected criminals and suspected spies that Trump people were incidentally on the surveillance that was being done of these other people. It's incredible. They weren't spying on his campaign. His campaign was in touch with so many suspected criminals and spies.
The Democrat National Committee and the Democrat Party.
What are they screaming?
When that phony, crooked Comey came to my office to explain, sir, I have a dossier I'd like to tell you about. I didn't care about 99% of it, but there was one thing here that I said, this is not going to play well with the First Lady. And it turned out to be a total fake. The whole thing was made up. And it's a disgrace what's happened to our country. This was presented to me by the FBI. Comey, bad guy who lied to Congress, did a lot of bad things.
Yeah.
And
Trump won the presidency in 2016 thanks to Comey deciding to have a second press conference about Hillary Clinton days before the election for no reason we can understand to this day. If it weren't for Comey, Trump never would have been president, I believe.
Impeach me, they're going to impeach me. I said, what's wrong with that? I got impeached twice. My poll numbers went up. But he said, they're going to impeach me, sir. And you remember, he was very much, in favor of looking into the whole thing with the election fraud. He was a big believer. You look at his statement. All of a sudden, he says, I didn't see anything wrong. Oh, really? Take a look at Detroit. Take a look at Detroit. Take a look at Philadelphia. Take a look at Pittsburgh. Take a look at practically any place. Take a look. All of a sudden, he couldn't find anything. Oh, nothing happened. The U.S. attorney in Philadelphia wrote me a letter complaining that Barr wouldn't let him do his job. He ran for governor, got killed because of that. Barr wouldn't let him do his job. We need people with courage and guts. He didn't want to be impeached. By the way, from that standpoint, it worked out very well for him because they said, anybody that's so stupid to think that there wasn't fraud in this election, we're going to leave him alone. And they did. They never thought about impeaching him again, but they were going to impeach him. And then I see him all over television. We need strong people. We need people with courage and guts, or this movement is going to overtake us.
What a lunatic.
This movement is going to overtake us. And yet, after all their lies and corruption, these same people, like little shifty Adam Schiff, he's got the perfect head. I say it. People say, oh, that's not a nice way. Shifty Adam Schiff, right? He's not a dummy, but a total fraud. No, you know what this represents? Watermelon head. So I said watermelon head. And people said, that's not a nice thing. I said, this guy tried to destroy a lot of very good people. He's a bad guy. He's a crooked person. He made a speech on the perfect phone call I made to the Ukrainian president. It was a perfect call. And he made a speech, and he imitated what I said. And I said, that's not what I said. It bore no relationship. And then we produced, fortunately, a transcript of the exact call, right down to the word. Right down to the word.
Remember, Didn't they release a summary of the call rather than a transcript? I don't even think he ever released I think that's a lie about what he's lying about.
Congress, you can't be sued, you're immune. So the speech he made was total, you know what? I won't use it because my wife always says, darling, don't use the word bullshit, so I'm not going to use it. Told you, First Lady. She said, don't use that word.
The type of crowd that gets excited by swears. I mean, it really tells you a lot about the types of folks that we're dealing with here. Whoa, he swore. Elect this man.
Remember, first it was Russia, Russia, Russia. This is what I went through, and yet we still had probably the most successful, one of the very most successful presidencies, and this is what I went through.
Edgy.
Russia, Russia, Russia. Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. The Mueller witch hunt where the conclusion was no collusion. Do you think Biden can say that? Think of that. Do you think Biden can say that? I don't think so.
If you care about law
and impeachment
and
hoax
order.
number one, impeachment hoax number two, they went after a guy named Roger Stone, who's sitting in the office. Come here. Look at that.
Why is Stone there?
And right now, he's cleaner than anybody in this place. No, they treated him very unfairly. And I'll say this in front of Roger, he's no baby. His wife knows that. His wife is better than he is, by the way. But she knows that better than anybody. Thank you, darling, for being here. It's very nice. No, I see him sitting here. I like that. They're great. But they treated him very unfairly. What they did was so unfair, so unfair. And this is happening to many, many, many people. Can't let it happen. It's become like a political, disgusting war. And it didn't happen very much, or hopefully at all, on the Republican side. But you know what goes around comes around. They have to be very careful. They have to be very careful. The censorship of the Biden family corruption story is Russia disinformation by the FBI and Facebook. Remember when the FBI went up and they said that the laptop from hell, and the incredible woman that wrote that book, and Miranda Devine, she's incredible. But she actually told me, she said, thank you for that name, because I think that was one of my beauties too. We have a lot of beauties. But she wrote a great book about it. And it was indeed the laptop from hell, and you don't see anything happening. It's a laptop from hell. And it's incredible. But they went up to Facebook and others, the FBI, like they're working for the Democrat Party, which they are, of course. They have been for a long time. And they said, this is absolute Russia stuff. No, it was disinformation. They are great at two things. They're horrible at policy, but they're great at cheating in elections and disinformation. They're great. If they would spend the same genius on trying to make our country great again, we could make this country there'd be nobody even close. You wouldn't have to fight every single day of your life. But that's all they do. They cheat on elections and they put out disinformation. The laptop from hell is a disaster, and the FBI tried to say it was from Russia. And it wasn't. But we had good support. But it would have made a 17-point difference in the polls, according to Fabrizio and McLaughlin and the great pollsters. Would have made a 17-point difference. Can you believe that?
No.
If people thought that that was true. But they killed it. They killed it. But here's the good news. We didn't need the 17 points. We had far more votes than we needed. We didn't need 17 points. We didn't need 2 points. We didn't need 1 point. And then it was on January 6th. Remember, the January 6th Unselect Committee of Political Hacks and Thugs. These are political hacks. How's Liz Cheney doing? Oh, how's she doing?
Right.
How's Liz Cheney doing, Marco? I don't know. She's not doing good. I saw the other day on television, she said, now you have to understand, Liz Cheney lost by more votes in a great, great state. A state that I won, I think it was my #1 state. In her state, Wyoming, she lost by more votes than any congressman in the history of our country lost. Congressman, congresswoman. And the other day, the fake news, one of them standing right there, said, I believe she's got a great future in politics. She's got no future in politics. They said, right there, I believe she's got a great future in politics. She lost by 40 points, the most ever, because usually when a
Getting very sweaty, I know. I know you guys are noticing.
Usually when the congressmen are that far behind, they quit. They don't go through the election in that kind of humiliation, so they quit. So she lost by 40. And I'll tell you, another one that had the record until she came along happens to be from South Carolina, a guy named Tom Rice. He was an impeacher. He lifted up his hand to impeach the president for no reason whatsoever. He forgot that he was in a Trump plus 28 district. This was not a good political move. And he was at 26, but Liz Cheney blew him out of the water 40. Nobody's ever lost by 26. Because usually if you're going to be that, there's something really bad happened if that's. So usually you get out. You never get to test it, right? Because you had some that probably, but they get out. She didn't get out. She made a fool out of herself. But think of it. They are saying, I wonder what her future holds. I think she has a brilliant political future.
It is sort of looking like Trump is melting. There's something strange going on. I see that.
Middle East, and it should have never happened. They blew the place apart. Millions of people dead for no reason. But also the appalling misconduct by the racist and incompetent New York State Attorney General, Letitia Peekaboo James. You ever hear of her, Peekaboo James? Who is presiding over record numbers of murders, rapes, drug deals, and every other form of crime in our once great New York State. Oh, I love New York State. What happened? What happened to it? But she only spends her time going after her political opponents. Peekaboo. Just last week at her request.
I think that's a racial slur. I think Trump's figuring out a way to not say another racial slur that ends in boo.
In a newspaper about Trump, how much he hates, and he's allowed to make a decision on me. Engoron, study the name, watch the name. He's a lunatic. Started a process of property confiscation akin to Venezuela, Cuba, or the Soviet Union. We appreciate, actually, for a change, the Wall Street Journal actually got it right. They got it right. They said, this can't happen in this country. Likewise, a local left-wing DA in Atlanta is after me for an absolutely perfect phone call. I think even more perfect than my perfect phone call to Ukraine, where I spoke to the president, who, in all fairness, Zelensky said that call was perfect. He said there was nothing wrong with that call. I called him up to congratulate him on his victory when he ran for office, and I end up getting impeached. This was just a cabal. This was just a group of people where crazy Nancy Pelosi, by the way, how's she doing lately? How's she doing? Where crazy Nancy Pelosi has the votes. And they never, one thing I have to say, and I'm speaking to mostly Republicans, is there a Democrat in the House? Boy, you can't even see the end of the back where these people are. Marco.
Man, his brain is mush. It's just jumping between topic. All of a sudden, he's Nancy, and then a Democrat, and then the back.
With all of the things going on. But a local left-wing DA in Atlanta is after me for an absolutely perfect phone call about a subject that I think we have a right to talk about. It's called election integrity. While in Atlanta, it was just announced it's among the highest murder rates per capita of any city in the country. Death.
Is he saying that about every city he visits now?
Rape. And they go after me for making a call on election integrity. You got to have election integrity, and you have to have borders. I think I've taught people two things, maybe more than anything else: election integrity and borders.
Really, a teacher.
Because most people used to think the elections were honest in our country, and now we're a laughingstock all over the world.
We are.
In France, by the way, they just had an election. 36 million votes, all paper ballots, all one day. It was over at 11 o'clock, and nobody had any questions. All of these local Democrat-run cases are being directed out of Washington. It's a weaponization. We have a weaponized Department of Justice and a weaponized FBI, including, of course, the very famous raid on Mar-a-Lago and the document hoax case.
There you go.
Which violated my Fourth Amendment rights and
Untrue.
something that has never been done to another president. No other president's ever done this. Presidents leave, they take things, they take documents, they take things, they read them.
No, it's true. No other president has done this, meaning the things Trump has done. That's absolutely true.
Plus many others. And this is their next weapon. These people are sick. They're coming after me because I'm fighting for you. That's very simple. I'm fighting for you. The radical left thinks that by doing all of these wicked and venomous things, they're making us weaker. But actually, they are making us stronger, and they are making us far more unified and united. We're far more unified and united. I believe that, too. And I don't believe this country is going to take it much longer. I think what they're witnessing now is from third world, and it's from communism, and I just don't think they're going to take it much longer. To every citizen who is appalled by the radical left's lawlessness and corruption, this election is your chance to make your voice heard. With your vote, you can reject left-wing tyranny and proudly declare that America must remain a free country.
Oh, okay. That's innovative.
Because it's not a free country, though. And if the media in the back, you have all that media, but if the media in the back were truly vigilant, it would be the single greatest reason and the single greatest hope for our country, because they'd watch over our country and they'd treat everybody fairly, but they don't do that. But they would watch.
This is dangerous.
That would make a bigger difference than any politician can make. I believe that, Marco. If they were vigilant and honest, which they're not, that would be the biggest difference you could make in this country. You people could straighten out our country and the corruption. But you could take the worst. If you just went out, took 5 presidents, picked the worst presidents in American history, and put them together, they would not have done the damage Joe Biden has done to our nation in less than 2 short years. You know, we have a clip. I bought these beautiful, beautiful boards. We have a clip. Just take a look at the screen right up here.
How would you say your mental focus is?
Oh, it's focused. I haven't. Look.
Let's get ready to bumble!
I think it's a right for people to have bad health care. Sure.
Listen, Trump's the last guy who should be talking about Biden glitching.
Then he went, Donald Trump, yeah, Donald Trump. I love Donald Trump, but no more drop box. The drop boxes are just so bad. No more drop boxes. Dickinson, Holagic, and Cephahai. That was about a guy named, a rhino named Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney. Real beauty. Had to give the American people their voice back by building something called Truth Central. He voted against Kate's Law, and he voted for Obama amnesty. You know, we've endorsed Dr. Oz. We've endorsed JP, right? JD Mandel, and he's doing great. I've had more investigations than Jesse James, Billy the Could. Some of the world's greatest cricket players, from Sachin Tendulkar to Virat Kohli. As the great religious teacher, Swami Vivekananda once said. I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges of the investigation, the beginnings of that investigation. And God bless the United States. Thank you very much. He was awarded the Bronze Star and the Combat Infantryman Badge for his service. We have to keep our country gay, but it's not, for some reason, it's just not great anymore. If you care about law and order, look, law and order. In normal times, roughly 40% of fresh vegetables and about 40% China. Nambia's health system is increasingly self-sufficient. This is not about virtue, cycling, and signing. And the great General and President Ulysses S. Grant, he's really come back a long way over the last 10 years, hasn't he? We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple. When they gaze upon Yosemites, towering sequoias, they delivered a swift and sweeping, you know that sweeping. It was swift and it was sweeping like nobody's ever seen anything happen. Units of plasma for plasma. Donate plasma in the failing New York Times by
an anonymous, really an anonymous, gutless coward. I may ask Marilyn Lockheed, the leading woman's business. No teacher should ever be allowed to teach transgender to our children without parental consent. No, nobody has to have parental consent. And we will totally oppose the Biden administration. This administration.
He made some statements, rough statements on Jewish.
Right. So anyway, the point here is Trump shouldn't be talking about Biden glitching.
And they had to pay $430 billion. I said, no, we're not going to. They said, sir, does that mean you will not protect?
Oh, now he's completely soaking wet.
Of one of the countries, 28 countries. And they said, does that mean that you're not going to? I said, that's what it means. If you're delinquent, real estate term, if you're delinquent, you don't get protection. So he said, you mean if Russia came and attacked us, you will not protect us if we don't pay? That's right, exactly right. You understood it. The next day, like $400 billion came in. It was rather amazing. Now, if I would have done the typical political thing, no, we'll always protect you, I promise. What's the purpose of their paying? They wouldn't pay. Marco knew about that. I talked to Marco about that. He understood it better than anybody. Under my leadership, we had for the first time American energy independence and even American...
We still do. Information's public. Google it. He's talking about import versus export or oil numbers. Nothing's really changed under Biden.
And Saudi Arabia combined. I'd say that's pretty good. And when he came in, he just said, no, that's it. Now they're begging for oil. It's so sad. Now you take a look at what's happened where Biden goes and pleads with OPEC. And now it's called OPEC Plus. You know that, right? Because it's OPEC Plus, plus, plus. Everybody wants to be a member. You didn't even hear the term OPEC because I had basically wiped out. For 4 years, you never heard OPEC even mentioned. We had so much oil. We had the opposite problem. The price got so low, we had to save the oil companies. Right. We had so much. We were $1.87 a gallon for gasoline. Think of that, $1.87. Now today in California, they just broke $8 a gallon, and the rest of you are going to follow.
That's
Don't
a lie.
forget, we filled up the strategic reserves, which is something a president doesn't want to do. But when the price per barrel got so low, we made a deal, and 75 million barrels, all of that's being dissipated, and we're almost empty, and it's not supposed to be used for that. It's supposed to be used for military emergencies, real big, not for getting the price of gasoline down so that people can get a couple of more votes in an election, which is what they're doing. But starting on the 9th, that ends, your prices are going to go through the roof. Just like your turkey prices are gone. Don't expect a turkey on Thanksgiving. Number one, you can't get them. Number two, if you can get them, you're going to pay 3 times more than you did last year. So somebody would say, oh, good, well, we'll get ham. That's 2.5 times more.
I would get a couple nice, modestly sized chickens. It's way more flavorful. It only takes you an hour to beautifully cook in the oven. I would even look at spatchcocking it. The turkey, ham, come on, guys, come on.
It's so disrespectful. But he does the fist bump, and he goes over to ask for help. And instead of giving help, they do the opposite of what he asks. That didn't happen with me, I will tell you. We gave you the largest tax cuts and regulation cuts in American history. By contrast, the radical Democrat Congress passed one of the largest tax hikes in American history. You got to get Mitch McConnell to be a lot tougher. Mitch McConnell. You can have Mitch McConnell and his wife, Coco Chow. You can have them both. Under the Trump administration.
Yeah. Her name's Elaine. She worked for Trump.
With no inflation. Biden and the Democrat Congress created the worst inflation in over 50 years, 9.1%. But it's much higher than that. It's not 9.1. Oh. It's much higher than that. I rebuilt our military, including our nuclear capability and the creation of Space Force, first time in 79 years since Air Force. 79 years, and it's turned out to be incredibly important.
What have they done?
It turned out to be incredibly. Russia and China were dominating space, and Biden wanted to end it. And you know what happened? The military backed up. You won't be reading it from these people. The military backed up. and said, we have to have it. It's going to be one of the most important branches. They surrendered our strength and turned Afghanistan into the greatest humiliation our country has ever had. And now we have a war between Russia and Ukraine with potentially hundreds of thousands of people dying. So many thousands of people have died. The place is being blown to smithereens. It would have never, ever happened if I was president. And you know who knows that? President Putin knows that. Would have never happened. We discussed it a lot. It would have never happened. Not even a chance. And you know what? It didn't happen. It didn't. Somebody said, well, maybe it would have. It didn't happen. We also imposed historic sanctions on the evil regimes in Cuba and Venezuela. You know that, right? And working closely with Marco Rubio, and he was incredible help, we reversed the Obama-Biden administration's horrendous and very weak Cuba policy. It was so pathetic. And we canceled their cruel betrayal of...
If you've only been listening the last 40 minutes, you might have forgotten. In theory, this is a rally for Marco Rubio. So nice of Trump to actually mention him there.
Assembly and expression were respected. All political parties were legalized and free elections were scheduled, and it was all happening, and then the election got rigged, and that was the end of that. But we'll get it back very quickly. It won't take long. By contrast, the Biden administration has completely abandoned the people of Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. Completely. I have a little development in, they call it Little Venezuela, Doral. Did anybody ever hear of Doral? Country club. What? And they are the greatest people. We're surrounded by so many Venezuelans. Actually, I think I'm in Venezuela whenever I go there. Okay. But it's such an incredible, prosperous community. The people are incredible, just absolutely incredible. I call it a great location because the people make it a great location. Venezuela and so many. They got rid of sanctions. They undercut the brave protesters. This is the Biden administration, risking their lives in Cuba, and they disgracefully stood by the, think of this, Catholic clergy. They were jailed in Nicaragua, and our country did nothing about it whatsoever. Nothing whatsoever. The radical Democrats have sold out American interests, and they've turned their back on American values, and in particular, the Hispanic community. They've turned their back on the Hispanic community. I think the numbers, I know the numbers are being considered massive. I think it's going to end up being 100%. Why would anybody stand for what the Democrats have done to the Hispanic community? The election was rigged and stolen, and now our country is being destroyed. I ran twice, I won twice, and I did much better the second time.
It's not true. Trump did not win twice. Trump lost to Joe Biden. It wasn't close.
Money that we got in 2016. And likewise, getting more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country by far. And now, in order to make our country successful, safe, and glorious, I will probably have to do it again, but stay tuned.
Trump expected to announce on Monday, November 14th, based on an Axios report. Imagine Trump openly grifting and bilking you out of your money so that he could fix up his plane. And then you're going to vote for him again when it's all about himself. It's really, I mean, I don't know if it's, again, cult, mental illness, or ignorance, or sort of like a Venn diagram of the three. Probably all three.
Ohio, stay tuned. We have a big rally there for JD. We have a big rally. Stay tuned tomorrow night in Ohio. We have to win a historic victory for Republicans on Tuesday. 2 days from now, you have the chance to re-elect an incredible champion of Florida workers and families. He really is. I got to know Marco so well. And we did. We admit it. We talked. We had a rough campaign together. He was tough. He was smart. But I got to know him really as president. And we did great together. We did incredible things together for the Hispanic community, but for every community. And he's incredible. He's an incredible guy. He's a true conservative warrior who gets the job done. Marco Rubio gets the job done. He was was one of the driving forces, and absolutely a driving force, behind our tax cuts, the biggest tax cuts in the history of our country, bigger than the Reagan tax cuts many decades before. And he was fighting to double the child tax credit. In fact, I would say, Marco, take it easy, please. Take it easy. He felt so strongly about that one, right? Along with Ivanka. But they fought for it and they got it and we got it, and I'm very happy we did. He was also instrumental in creating the Paycheck Protection Program, which saved and protected 6 million Florida jobs from the China virus. That was a good one. Marco Rubio worked hand in hand with my administration to reform the VA. He loves the vets. Take care of our veterans, reduce the price of insulin for Florida seniors. You see the low prices? That's because of us. The low prices, they never thought they were going to see those numbers for Florida seniors, and stand up to the Cuban and Venezuelan dictatorships and protect the beautiful Florida Everglades. He did all of this. He did so much, and he did a lot more. And he doesn't want credit. I said, Marco, you got to take credit for some of these things. But he did a lot of these things, some of them single-handedly. Marco is endorsed by practically every police and law enforcement organization, right, in the state of Florida. And he is truly a candidate, and the candidate for law and order. Marco is running against radical Democrat Val Demings. She's cratering. She's cratering, by the way. Her campaign is cratering, I hope at least. We'll find out on Tuesday. It better be cratering, or we have problems in this state, in this country. But she's voted with Biden and crazy Nancy Pelosi 100% of the time over the last 2 years. Demings voted for every single...
Demings is super solid.
Spending bills, one of the big reasons for inflation. She voted no on the border wall. Can you imagine? No, we don't want a border wall. Let the people come into our country. She sued us. She was one of the people that sued us on the border wall. We don't want a border wall. She voted yes on funding for deadly sanctuary cities, and she supported gutting my Title 42 protection at the border, where people were not allowed to come into our country. They weren't allowed. Demings praised left-wing riots as a beautiful sight. She said, oh, what a beautiful sight, as they burned down Portland and lots of other places. And people were being killed.
Even if that were true, Trump said that the January 6th riots people were great, beautiful people who we love and are justified in being there because of the false belief that Trump actually won.
$2 trillion tax hike, the largest, that would be the largest tax hike in the history of our country. On top of all that, she was one of the crazy Nancy Pelosi's handpicked impeachment managers. She walked in so proudly, we're going to impeach the president, for a phone call that was perfect. Congratulations on your victory, Mr. President. Let's impeach him for that. These people are stone cold crazy. Val Demings is a radical left maniac. You need Marco Rubio fighting for you in the U.S. Senate. He is fantastic. Marco, come on up. Come on up.
There we go. Remember, when Trump calls you up, speak a very short amount of time, mostly just praising Trump as the cult leader that he is. Otherwise, Trump gets visibly bored.
Mr. President, I think Miami-Dade County likes you a lot. I think they love you a lot. Thank you for coming. And you know, he's a Florida voter. I called him a couple weeks ago. I want to make sure I had both of those votes in Mar-a-Lago locked in. And here's what I want to say, Mr. President. You know this already. You go to a lot of places around this country. We have a wonderful state with a lot of people, not only from Miami-Dade. There's people here from all over the state that have made the trip here to be a part of this. But I want to speak specifically about so many that live here in South Florida, because that's where we are. This is a community of people who lost their country. They saw the destruction of countries, the nation of their birth. They saw what socialism and communism and Marxism can do, and they are not going to lose this country. Like so many Americans, they love America, but when you know what life is like somewhere else, you will fight to save it. This community will fight to save it. We're going to see it on Tuesday, and thank you for coming to fire everybody up.
There you go. He did it, right? I mean, he spoke 60 seconds. 35 of the seconds were praising Trump. He knows the drill.
I wish I would have said that. That was very good. No, he's great. He's a great guy, too. We're also thrilled by some of the people that have come here. We have a really outstanding man. He was your governor. He did a fantastic job as your governor.
Just so folks know, the Bernie rally starts in about 10 minutes. I expect Trump to probably go another like half hour, so we'll join that in progress. Great to have everybody here. Whoops, hold on. This isn't it.
Representatives Mario Diaz-Balart. Where's Mario? Where is Mario?
Uh-oh. Trump reading names is always risky.
Good guy. Gus Bilirakis. Gus. Hi, Gus. You're getting a lot taller. I don't know what happened.
Vive Comunanda.
Great family. A real leader, a great guy, a great patriot, somebody that's helped us a lot. Vern Buchanan. Vern, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Great. A man who's a fantastic person, gets a little bit controversial on occasion, but I will tell you, there's nobody better than this guy. He's been through a lot. And the word that we can't say, I'm not going to say, but he went through things that having to do with that. It was terrible the way he got treated. He's so tough, he's so strong, and everybody stayed with him. He's smart, and he loves this state, and he loves this country. Matt Gaetz.
Gaetz is toxic and potentially a child sex trafficker pedophile, as people like to say. But he's right up there with Trump. He's right up there with Trump.
And we apologize to you on behalf of the country, all of us do, because what you went through is just terrible and so unnecessary. A really good guy and somebody that knows the military. He sees on all the time. Nobody knows more. Michael Waltz. Thanks, Michael.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks, Michael. Say hello. Kat Kamek. She's sort of just started out, but I don't know. I think you've been there a long time. In terms of knowledge, you've been there a long time. You've done a great job. Thank you, Kat, very much. And she's only leading by about 44 points, so I don't know. We have to worry about it. Another one that's leading by about 44 points is somebody that, he gave me an award a long time ago. It was probably 6-7 years ago. And he made a speech, and his speech was so good. I said, have you ever thought of running for office? He said, no. I said, you should think about it. All of a sudden, 2 years later, I get a call. He's running for office, and he ends up winning and just decimating his opponent. His name is Byron Donalds. Byron? Thanks, Byron. Great job. Great job, and he's a great guy. Another man who's really turned out to be a friend of mine because I think he likes the way the Hispanics like Trump. And he really is. He's a very talented person. He's leading by quite a bit. I watch all of their polls. I watch them more than I watch my polls. Because to be honest, we have to worry about this one really right now. We have to get this done. We have to get it done on Tuesday. Carlos Jimenez. Carlos. Thank you, Carlos. Good job.
Jimenez.
President of the Florida Senate and candidate for Florida Agriculture Commissioner, a friend of mine also, Wilton Simpson. Wilton, thank you. Thank you, Wilton. State Representative and future Speaker of the Florida House, Danny Perez. Danny, thank you. Thank you, Dan. Good job, Danny. State representatives, we have a lot of them here, but we'll go quickly. Lawrence McClure, Demi Busada, Anthony Rodriguez, Josie Tomko, James Buchanan, Juan Fernandez Barquin, Wyman Dugan, State Senator Ileana Garcia.
A rhino named Nick Rhinemaker.
I guess there's a person that's going for higher office. It's like a poll, This is all like a poll. It's like a poll when this many people come out. That's like a poll. That's like
Mexico.
a poll. It's better than any poll, right, Mike? Former ambassador to the Organization of American States, Carlos Trujillo. Carlos, great lawyer.
Did he say Trujillo?
Mayor of Hialeah. I was so honored to endorse him. Oh, he's popular. Listen to that. Steve Bovo. Steve.
Steve Bovo.
Wow. They like Steve. Wow, that's great. Chairman of the Republican Party of Florida, Joe Gruters. Joe Gruters, he's done an incredible job. Joe, great job you've done, Joe, you know? And he's a person, he's not looking for like personal stuff. He just wants to win.
Right.
Those are the ones we appreciated, Joe, very much.
It's notable that he was not actually trying to be a corrupting influence.
Corey Mills, wow, have you done a job? Where's Corey? Wow. Corey, hi, Corey. What a job. Anna Paulina Luna. I saw her on television yesterday. She ripped it. But they both have my complete and total endorsement, in case anyone doesn't know, but they do, and they have had for a long time. Every one of these people that I'm announcing has my complete and total endorsement. You know what? If they didn't, you know what? I wouldn't announce them. Who the hell cares, right?
Right.
Republican nominee for Miami-Dade Commission, Kevin Cabrera. Kevin. A man who does a terrific job for the Republican Party, Matt Schlapp. Where's Matt? Matt Schlapp. What a great guy he is. And a man who I just happened to catch about half of his speech. I got in, and I said, who's ripping it up there? And it was a person named Don Trump Jr.
Don was ripping it on stage.
And he's great. And he's great. You know, I have to tell this one story because he's sitting here, so I can tell. He's probably heard me tell it a couple of times, not much. But to show you how evil these people are.
Uh-oh.
So Don went to great school. He went to the Wharton School of Finance, all this stuff. Good student. He was great. He was no problem whatsoever. He's just a good young guy. And I decided to go into politics. I said, you know, life is too good. Everything's perfect. Let's screw up your life a little bit, okay? And so I take my family along with me, and you know, they've really suffered when you think of it, but they don't have any second questions or doubts because we have done so much for this country, and we can do more. We're going to do a lot more.
Sure.
But to show you how evil, so the Russia hoax turned out to be a total scam. Now the Times admits it, the Washington Post, everybody admits it. It was a scam, and we caught him. Eventually, we caught him.
That never happened.
Story about Russia, that I was close to Putin, you know. And the only one that knew for sure that that wasn't true was Putin. He was saying, I never knew we knew each other so well. I'm the one that ended the pipeline, remember? I'm the one that put all the sanctions on Russia. He said, if you're close to me, I don't want to have you as an enemy. He did say that. But they said, Russia. And Schiff gets up. He goes to these meetings that are supposed to be secret. He goes in front of a microphone. No dummy, by the way. He's a bad human being. Very unattractive guy physically and inside also. See, they'll say, oh, you shouldn't say that about a person's appearance. In his case, I'll say it. And he gets up to the microphones, and he said, now he knows, think of this, him and Crooked Hillary and these people made up the whole Russia story. It was a story that was supposed to be a one-day story as an excuse for why she lost an election that everyone thought she was going to win, right? So it was a one-day story, but it mushroomed because of the fake news media, because they loved it, and they kept going, and then it got bigger and bigger. It got bigger and bigger. And I saw it even when I came down the escalator. Young people in the campaign. Guy. Oh, sir, it's such an honor to meet you. Sir, may I ask you a question? What? Do you know anything about Russia? I said, not much. You know, I haven't done this too much. No, not too much. And then Marco, a couple of, and you were so great to me on that, by the way. A couple of other people would come up to me 2-3 months later. They'd say, sir, do you know anything about Russia? I'd like to know, sir. No, I don't.
Sure,
but after this question's asked to me about 6 times, I said, what the hell is going on with Russia? And it was a whole scam. But this was supposed to last right after, it was started by her campaign manager and Comey. But this was right after the election I had won, and they were embarrassed because they thought they were going to win, and she did things like not going to Wisconsin. And
people are literally heading out. Do you see what's going on? They just hugged and kissed their friends, and they're just people are just leaving again, as usual.
It's nice to be liked. Oh, did you see the poll that just came out? Women love Trump again. Did you see that? Just came out. I have to, I have to interject every once in a while. I have to, you know what they'll say? He was on different subjects. Nobody can do what I do. I go here, I go there, and always get back to the right subject. But think of it. So this guy, Schiff, they made up a story. It was a fake story. They all knew it. And he goes up about a fine young guy named Don Trump Jr., goes before the microphones and said to a bevy of these fakers over here, he gets up to the mic and he said, Donald Trump Jr., the son of the President of the United States, will be going to jail for what he did with Russia. This kid knew nothing about Russia. Now think of this, how bad a person. He knew it was a scam. He knew it was a fake story.
By the way, it's not what Adam Schiff said. I mean, just Google it. Don't take my word for it. Schiff said a whole bunch of people, including Don Jr., could conceivably end up in prison depending on what is uncovered, right? That's a little different than Jr.'s going to prison.
People, and I also apologize to you, Don, because I got you into this mess, okay? All right? But he's strong and he handled it. I mean, he handled it. They had him in the Intelligence Committee for 28 hours. 28 hours. A guy named Burr, he always liked me, and I thought, I got him elected because when I won, I carried him over the line. Lousy politician from a great state, North Carolina. And all of a sudden he went bad, but they had him on something like insider trading. And there are those people that think he made a deal to get out of his problem on insider trading by going after Trump because he changed. But you know what happened? Marco Rubio happened. And Marco Rubio said, Donald Trump did absolutely nothing wrong. And if I did, he would not say that. And I won't forget that. And he became chairman. Marco became chairman when he said it. And Burr always liked me. You know, I heard just last night, they said Burr really liked you a lot, but he had no choice. He wanted to save his ass, okay? He wanted to save his ass, so he maybe made a deal. Of course, I say maybe because this way it's a little easier. Maybe made a deal, but I have a feeling that could have happened.
Crowd has no idea what's going on. That's probably to some degree why they've started to leave. It's just nobody has any idea what's happening here.
People, look at them. Well, they are. This. We have a club like in Palm Beach where these people are absolutely crazed. We love them. They said, sir, would you speak? Could you say hello? Thank you, darling. Look at that. Look at these people, how beautiful they are. I'm not allowed to say that, so I mean beauty inside and out. So you're not allowed to talk about a person's looks anymore. But I will always do that, I'm sorry. But you know what? Great people. Club 45 in Palm Beach, they have these. No, they're just so committed. Sir, could you speak? I actually went to speak. There were so many people. Secret Service was not happy about that. And the fire department wasn't happy about it. Thousands and thousands of people showed up. It was incredible. So I just want to thank you and the founding members, Sue and Larry Snowden, and a man that nobody's ever heard of. He's the single greatest purchaser of commercials in the history of our country. I cannot stand it anymore. Mike Lindell.
We're doing a class action lawsuit against all machines.
Right.
In the history of our country, nobody. I always tell people, I say, why don't you buy commercials like Mike Lindell? I'd get 10 times the number. I don't know what the hell he does. I'm going to find, I think he waits, Marco. I think he waits till just before, like 10 seconds before airtime. And then Fox says, we haven't sold that. He says, I'll give you $100 for it. No, he does commercials that last like 5 minutes. I never saw anything. They're supposed to be 30.
They're infomercials, right?
His pillows are good. Actually, they are good because I have them. But I'm more impressed with your ability to buy commercials because I think you, and he's a patriot, let me tell you. Hey, they took his, the FBI pulled him over a couple of weeks ago. They took his phone. I'm sure they'll learn a lot from your phone. All they're going to learn is how good is the pillow business, and I actually would like to find that out. Because anybody that can buy that many commercials, the pillow business has to be really good. But anyway, thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Great patriot. He's a great patriot. And he's not afraid to say that the election was rigged and stolen, are you, Mike?
He's getting sued for saying it.
I also want to send our love to all of the communities throughout our state that are still recovering from the terrible devastation of Hurricane Ian. That was a terrible, terrible thing. To every family torched by the storm, you're in our prayers. And to every unsung hero who's helped with this massive recovery, there's so many people helping. We thank you. They're going to be in bad shape for a long time. It's hard to believe that a storm can be that powerful. When Republicans take back Congress, we will fight for the people of Florida, as I did always. Rick Scott will tell you, Marco will tell you, I was the first one to call, and I was saying whatever you need, and we always took care of the hurricanes, and we took care of them fast, Marco. One of the first things we must do and stand up for, and I can't even believe I have to say this, parental rights. Can you imagine we're going to stand up for the parents? Of course you're going to stand up. That we even have to say it because they are trying to destroy parents. We will get critical race theory out of our schools, out of our military, and out of every part of our federal, state, and local governments. And at long last, every parent in America must be empowered to opt out of the forced indoctrination in the classroom and to send their child to the public, private, charter, religious, or homeschool of their choice. We will also keep men out of women's sports, if you don't mind. When we just can't do this, it's so, it's very demeaning, frankly, to women. I don't understand. They say it's politically incorrect to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. No teacher should ever be allowed to teach transgender to our children without parental consent. Another one of our highest priorities under a Republican Congress will be to stop left-wing censorship and to restore free speech. You hear that, the media in America? And go out and sign up now for Truth Social. It's a hot thing, and it's a lot better than Twitter. It's our voice. And everywhere the Republican Party has the chance, we must pass critical election integrity reforms, including universal voter ID, citizenship confirmation. They don't want that because they don't want people to know that they don't happen to live in our country. No more fake drop boxes, no private money pouring into local election offices.
He seems to already be going close to the Q music part of this thing.
Only paper ballots. That's all we need. We are just 2 days away from the most important midterm election in American history.
That may be true.
Landslide so big that the radical left cannot rig it or steal it. Everybody needs to get out and vote. And if you care about election integrity, volunteer as an election worker, poll watcher, or poll challenger. So
in order to intimidate voters, of course.
We are going to take back the House. We are going to take back the Senate. We are going to take back America. We're going to take back America. And in 2024, most importantly, we are going to take back that big, beautiful, magnificent White House. We're going to take it back.
Hold on, I'm coming.
Together, we will fight for more jobs. We're going to fight for more jobs for American families, fair trade for American workers, and more American factories forging more products stamped with Uncle Sam. The beautiful phrase, made in the USA, Uncle Sam. We will shut down Biden's border disaster, reinstitute our strong Remain in Mexico policy, which was very difficult to get, strengthen the patriots of ICE and Border Patrol. We're going to strengthen them. Brandon Judd, a great guy. Tom Homan, great guy. We had it done with greatest we've ever had. We will again end catch and release. We will end chain migration. We will end visa lottery, all things that you don't know what they are, believe me.
Trump's like running through the speech now.
Immigration.
Desperate to get out of there.
We will stop the crime wave in Democrat-run cities, and we will give our police the power they need and the respect they deserve, and we will not take legal protection away from our police. We will restore law and order in America. We will hold China accountable for unleashing the virus upon the world. We will abolish all COVID mandates and lockdowns and
there are no such lockdowns.
We're gonna get them all knocked out. We're gonna rehire every patriot who is fired from the military with an apology.
No, you're not, dude.
Back pay. That'll happen.
That'll never happen. I will bet any amount of money.
We will defend the Second Amendment, and we will proudly uphold the Judeo-Christian value and principles of our nation's founding. We will restore patriotic education to our schools, and we will teach our children to love their country, honor our history, and to always respect our great American flag. And we will ban men. In conclusion, and you know, we wanted to make this a long one in honor of that guy, but we got to. We got to. Because there's nothing more important than what we're going to be doing. In conclusion, our MAGA movement, Make America Great Again, remember? Biden said the other day, we will stop the MAGA movement. I said, wait a minute, it's called the Make America Great Again. You're going to stop it? Is by far the greatest political movement in the history of our country. Together, we are standing up against some of the most menacing forces, entrenched interests, and vicious opponents our people have ever seen. Despite great outside dangers, our biggest threat remains the sick and sinister and evil people from within our country, and you know who they are. But no matter how big or powerful the corrupt radical left Democrats that we are fighting against may be, you must never forget that this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. This is your home, this is your heritage, and our American liberty is your God-given right. From Tampa to Tallahassee, from Pensacola to Sarasota, and from Jacksonville to Miami, we inherit the legacy of generations of American patriots who gave their blood, sweat, and tears to defend our country and our freedom. We stand on the shoulders of American heroes who crossed the oceans, blazed the trails, settled the continent, tamed the wilderness, laid down the railroads, dug out the Panama Canal, raised up the skyscrapers, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism. And from right here in this beautiful state, this wonderful, lovely...
Is he going to do the QAnon music?
Our brave American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the face of the moon. Together they made America into the single greatest nation in the history of the world.
There it is. There it is. Soaking wet Trump's QAnon music. Like a good cult, they know to start chanting "We love Trump" when the Q music starts.
But now, we are a nation in decline. We are a failing nation. We are a nation that has the highest inflation in 50 years, and where the stock market finished the worst first half of the year since 1872. Likewise, we are a nation that has the highest energy cost in its history. We are no longer energy independent or energy dominant, as we were just 2 short years ago. We are a nation that is begging Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, and many other countries for oil. Please, please, please help us, Joe Biden says. Yet we have more liquid gold right under our feet than any other country.
Yeah. I openly tell my supporters I'm grifting them in the fine print. And yet they still vote for me. We are a nation in decline where I can quite literally say anything to these moronic fools. And they will clap and cheer as if I'm doing something for them. They told me, "Sir, don't look directly at the solar eclipse," but I did anyway. Because I know better than the doctors. Because I'm a moron.
We are a nation that ended oil exploration and production in the United States just as the price of oil reached an all-time high. What other country would do such a thing? We are a nation that surrendered in Afghanistan, leaving behind dead soldiers, American citizens, and $85 billion worth of the finest military equipment in the world. And we are a nation that allowed Russia to devastate a country, Ukraine, killing hundreds of thousands of people, and it will only get worse. It would never have happened with me as your commander-in-chief, as for 4 straight years, it didn't happen.
All right, so Bernie's starting soon, so the timing might be perfect. And then Biden is doing another rally separate from Bernie.
And China with Taiwan is next. We are a nation that has weaponized its law enforcement against the opposing political party like never before in our history. We've got a Federal Bureau of Investigation that won't allow bad election-changing facts to be presented to the public, and which offers $1 million to a writer of fiction about Donald Trump to lie and say it was fact, and pays a man $200,000 to get Trump, where Hunter Biden's laptop from hell was Russian disinformation, and the FBI knew it wasn't, and a Department of Justice that refuses to investigate egregious acts of voting irregularities and fraud. And we are a nation that has to take care of these things because we have the worst president in the history of our country who is cognitively impaired and in no condition to lead, and is now casually talking about nuclear.
I see that there's people in the chat who are like, is this a parody or some kind of satire that we've missed? Remember, the right doesn't do satire. They don't understand it and they don't do it. And this is all too real. This is completely real.
As a free and fair press, fake news is all you get, and we are a nation that loves to be rained upon. Let's stay out here and
Is it raining now?
let's stay out here, right? I'm not leaving.
What a joke this country has become with people like this. I mean, how is this different than the Leo DiCaprio movie Don't Look Up? Oh my God, look at this. Look at what is happening.
We're a brave nation. We are a nation where free speech is no longer allowed, where crime is rampant and out of control like never before, and where more people died of COVID in 2021 than in 2020. And we are a nation that is allowing Iran to build a massive nuclear weapon in China, to use the trillions of dollars it has taken from us to build a military to rival our own. And just 2 years ago, we had Iran, China.
Oh God,
Russia.
the camera is out of focus. It's just what a mess.
And they weren't going to do a thing.
I mean, some of the storms in Florida are really bad. Look at that wind. Imagine if Trump got blown off stage. That'd be terrible, huh? It is funny that it's pouring. This is so embarrassing in every way.
Is this the greatest? This might be the greatest rally we've ever had. Wow. And perhaps most importantly,
Trump said when the sun came out during his inauguration, it was a sign from God. By that logic, this must be a sign from God as well.
A joke. And we are a nation that is hostile, think of it, to liberty, freedom, and faith. We are a nation whose economy is collapsing into a cesspool of ruin, whose supply chain is broken, whose stores...
Oh, sorry. Only good signs are signs from God. Sorry, guys.
The national system is ranked at the bottom of every single list. We are a nation where large packs of sadistic criminals and thieves are allowed to go into stores and...
I don't know that the lines are landing given the rain, guys.
...and kill their workers and customers and leave with armloads of goods, but with no retribution. Where the authority of our great police has...
I promise people in the audience, this is not a skit. This is not a skit. This is real. I'm telling you.
Mention of the words law enforcement. We are a nation where people are allowed to murder, kill, rob, and rape innocent victims, and they have no cash bail, and they are back on the streets and allowed to do whatever they do within hours.
All right. Could he like end it or something? This is a terrible wet t-shirt contest. When people say, "Hey, I went to a wet t-shirt contest in Miami," I don't think anybody thinks this is what they're going to.
Nation whose once revered airports are dirty, crowded messes where you sit and wait for hours and then you're notified that the plane won't leave and they have no idea when they will, where ticket prices have tripled. They don't have the pilots to fly the planes. They don't see qualified air traffic controllers, and they just don't know what the hell they're doing. We are a nation that has lost its confidence, willpower, and strength. We are a nation that has no confidence. Whoever thought we would say that? But we are not going to allow this horror to continue. 2 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will soon be a great nation again.
Please end it. You know that later, Trump and his everybody with him is going to be like, "Wasn't it so great when like it started raining and you just kept talking over the QAnon music? Man, that was really cool."
It was hard-working patriots like you who built this country, and it is hard-working patriots like you who are going to save our country. We will stand up to the radical left Democrats and the dangerous and unpatriotic rhinos, and we will fight for America like no one has ever fought before. And it's lucky I have a great memory because I cannot see a word on these things.
He has such a great memory that during yesterday's rally, he told the same 10-minute story twice.
There is no mountain we cannot climb. There is no summit we cannot reach. There is no challenge we cannot meet. There is no victory we cannot have.
Dude, get off the stage.
Is everybody having a good time? Is this...
Oh, now something's wrong with the mixing where you can barely hear him over the music.
We will never, ever give in. We will never give up. And we will never back down. This country will never back down.
From what? Nothing's happening.
Because as long as we are confident, united, and loyal to the cause, the tyrants we are fighting do not stand even a chance. Because we are Americans, and Americans kneel to God and God alone. The silent majority is back and stronger than ever. My fellow citizens, this incredible journey we are on together has only The journey has just begun. Only just begun. Even the mic can't make it, but we can.
Let me see if I can sort of recreate that. That's just the best, man.
Start talking about greatness for our country again. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God.
End it. Jeez.
So with the incredible help of everyone here today, we will make America powerful again.
It's so funny that people are convinced I'm adding the music. This is Trump is doing this at every rally now.
Get dry again. Make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We have to make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Florida. God bless
you. What a complete and total mess. Folks, we still have the Bernie and Biden rallies, so please don't go anywhere. Dear God, what a bizarre event. The good news is Trump started early. Instead of starting a half hour late, he started a half hour early. But it is all absolutely and completely insane. Thanks to Crystal Waters and her parents, who sent a number of very generous super chats while this was going on. All right, guys, the Bernie rally is next. This is live from Philadelphia, so stay with us. We will go to that as soon as Bernie speaks and then Biden is speaking. This is it. These are the final 48 hours until the election. We are streaming almost 24/7. We truly are. We did the stream last night, and then tonight, and then tomorrow, and then we're going all night on Tuesday night. I am so thrilled to have all of you here. If you're leaving, but I don't know why you would, make sure to follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube. We are doing all of it. The YouTube numbers are going incredibly well. Look at these numbers just before you head out. But we're continuing with the Bernie rally for John Fetterman. That is the next thing. The Fetterman race is an absolutely critical race. So it is great to have every single one of you here as we are standing by for Bernie Sanders. Yes, people impressed. Look at this, not only the length, but the width of this number. That is a girthy number of subscriptions. That is crazy stuff. And if you're watching right now on YouTube and you're not subscribed, please do. I mean, it's completely free. Okay, you're making the number even wider as people continue to subscribe. And absolutely, we have this goal of getting to 1,000 website members and Twitch subscribers total over this 5-day period by Tuesday. I think we could do it tonight. Go to joinpacman.com. The podcast, the streams, all of it is funded directly by you. Because it is such a special day, you can use the coupon code OBAMNA to get a stunning discount. And by the way, you don't have to go yearly. If you go monthly, I don't even know that I should show this. It's almost humiliating how cheap it is. But it's all happening thanks to your support. I have to thank Wesley Taylor, who has been dumping in gifted memberships the entire stream. It is an unbelievable thing. I appreciate every single one of you. And the stream continues thanks to BAM for the Twitch Prime subscription. All right, guys, listen. I have the clips from Luke Beasley, who was on the ground yesterday at the Trump rally. I have not reviewed them. Do you want to take a look at them? Do you want to take a look at them? Because we are going to be using these on tomorrow's show. Oh, thank you to Jason Sickmeyer for the website membership. Join Pacman.com. I really appreciate that. You want to check this out? Let's take a look at this. Let's just pick one of these. Check this out. Here is the first clip. Our correspondent, Luke Beasley. The bee's knees on the ground in Pennsylvania, as Trump likes to say. Let's listen. I have not pre-screened these.
And we're seeing kind of a phenomenon going into this midterms. It's very different than others, where a number of GOP candidates have indicated kind of, you've probably seen they get asked, like, are you going to concede if you lose? And it's like, no, if we lose, it's probably because the Democrats stole it. Is that a mindset that you guys share?
You want to answer anything? But
Oh, I definitely think it was stolen. I always think that. They could tell me it's a lie, and I'll never believe.
Never, ever, ever. That's a cult, right? There is no evidence that could change my mind.
It was legit.
Interesting. That is something that a lot of times I'll say in conversations, like, what would I have to...
Oh, Luke has learned well. Look at this, folks. Look at this. Luke is going to do it.
...show you or pose to you that would change your mind on that particular issue?
I don't think there is anything to show.
There you go. She didn't reason her way in with facts, and facts are not going to help her reason her way out. Excellent execution by Luke.
I remember looking back when they was showing all these people at the election places where the votes were. And everybody's running around covering up windows and stuff. Nobody wanted them to see in.
Remember that? Remember,
on.
Guys? At the polling places when everybody covered up the windows? I mean, I have no memory of that. Thanks to Stephen Fisher, who just signed up on my website, putting us at 740. Folks, let's keep it going. Let's check out clip number 2. Luke did a great job here. Hold on, let's get it the right size. Here we go.
Hear from those two.
Something that makes sense.
Gotcha.
That's about it.
And what topics?
A lot of stuff does not make sense anymore.
As in?
Don't get me started. I mean,
Get
seriously,
started.
What makes sense to you? That it is inappropriate to be proud of anything American? Does that make sense?
To be proud of something? Oh, yeah. America in particular? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And who you are and the fact that we've come so far.
You can't be proud anymore. What a sad state of affairs.
On a million different levels.
Agreed.
Whatever.
One of the interesting things about that I feel like has shifted a bit, because it traditionally was, Republicans who was like really, really America as far as the rhetoric goes. But now at the end of every rally, there's kind of this part of the speech from Trump talking about America's fallen apart, it's completely gone to waste, we're a laughingstock of the world. This is like what I've wondered for a while now recently.
I agree.
Is that...
She agrees. She bemoans that you're not allowed to be proud of America anymore. And then she goes, oh, I completely agree with Trump. America's a shithole right now. Wait, hold on. But you... What?
Not being proud of America on Trump's part?
We are being laughed at. If you had been given a choice, would you prefer to be weak or strong? What would you choose?
Strong.
Right. So would I.
There you go. I mean, that's pretty open and shut, guys. Man, this is even more insane than I imagined. Thanks to Thorsten Surmelli and Scott Harrington for signing up at joinpacman.com, putting us at 742. You guys want to see one more while we wait for Bernie? I mean, these are bonkers. Let's check out one more here. Uh-oh, this guy is ultra MAGA. Let's see.
This is Rich Shade, Christian, patriot, mixed martial arts expert, and the world's most handsome man.
What are your feelings since it kind of big in the news right now about the investigation going on into him based on the documents he had at Mar-a-Lago?
I think it's nonsense. I think the Justice Department right now is totally corrupt at the top. I actually know some. I train in mixed martial arts.
Guys, second mention in 20 seconds that this guy does mixed martial arts.
A black belt in judo
and judo, black belt. There you go.
Close in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I know a lot of people in law enforcement. Right. I don't think the middle level people in the FBI are crooked, but the upper level, we've never had anybody weaponize the Justice Departments against their opponents.
Literally the language of Trump.
Like Joe Biden's doing right now.
So my question on that, as far as the timeline goes, is do you agree that the National Archives came to Trump, said we need these documents, he didn't turn them over, we need them, and then finally it concluded in what we saw?
Basically, they blew it up overdue library books. That's all it really is.
It's overdue library books, guys. Come on.
Huge national security implications.
Yeah, but look.
Yeah, it does have national security implications, but
look what some of the other presidents, they're in the Chinese restaurants.
Wow, so this guy doesn't know any of the stuff. He's just verbatim repeating the stuff Trump says at rallies. That's interesting because it means even when they look bored, they are listening and they'll just accept the language.
You know?
That was a National Archives rented out facility, but which would have been okay if Trump had done that.
Yeah, I mean, like they're targeting the man, and they've been all with him.
This guy's kind of making me sick. Let's check out one more. We have so many of these. This is going to be a wild show tomorrow.
That is our right as an American, that our votes count, and it did not count in the 2020 election.
Can I press y'all or ask y'all about that specifically? So, with all the evidence that I am, hearing a lot from people here that they believe that and feel like they've seen that evidence, why, for someone who's trying to strictly go to things that they know can be verified, has that not been shown up in any of the court cases that have been done, plus any of the audits that have been done among the many?
There's corruption.
And the audits, they weren't audits that, counted the votes.
You guys know what this is, right? This is like, hey, you know what? There's a tiger in the room with me right now. I don't see a tiger. Well, the tiger's invisible. Ah, okay. Well, let me put some baby powder on the floor so that when the tiger walks around, it'll move the baby powder and we'll know the tiger's in the room with us. No, tiger's invisible and it's weightless. Ah, okay. Well, at some point, the tiger's going to need to eat. So let me put some food in here for the tiger so that even though the tiger's invisible and weightless, when it needs to eat, we'll see the food being eaten. Nope. Special tiger doesn't need food. No, because the court cases were corrupt, so they didn't show anything. And the audits were done, but they were bad audits.
I mean, they weren't an audit. It was an audit in a sense, but it wasn't an audit to actually...
This is an expert on auditing, by the way. As you can all imagine, these are exactly the people who would tell us what type of audit makes sense.
Count the votes and the errors that went on during, the election. I mean...
With all the love in the world, the reason why I have a hard time believing some of these claims is because, the corrupt point would maybe make more sense if a lot of the judges that these cases were put in front of were appointed by Trump. And so I guess is it even them too?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yes, even the Trump judges are corrupt.
Yes. A lot of people that were appointed by Trump backstabbed him.
Right. But I thought he hired only the best people. They were good at the time. Then they backstabbed. See?
He has been Bill Barr, Pence. You hear the drain the swamp. The swamp.
Man, this is really, really wacky stuff. Thanks to Youngo PX for the Twitch Prime subscription, putting us at 743. And I also want to say thank you to Janky Dooman for signing up at joinpacman.com. Folks, we have a goal here. All of the daily streams, including what's coming tomorrow and Tuesday, it's all funded by you. Would love for you to grab a subscription on my website or to grab a subscription on Twitch. They'll all get us closer to 1,000, and this stuff carries over. Since Bernie's not speaking yet, let's look at one more clip. I mean, these are, oh God, look at this guy. This one might be the mother lode. Let's check it out. Here we go. I love the hat. I just absolutely love it.
Tell me about what you saw, what you liked.
I liked everything.
Everything.
Yep. And I want to say something, but I can't.
Say it. Go ahead.
Democrats.
Why do you feel that way?
Because they're scumbags. What have they done to help this country? You're young.
Yeah, the Inflation Reduction Act is lowering prescription drug costs as well as investment change. Ooh. Why is she that in your mind?
Just a piece of she done.
I just told you. She was on the forefront of getting the Inflation Reduction Act passed.
She's a piece of
Oh my God.
Gotcha. Cool. You're done? Right, not that.
They're destroying this country. And people don't wake up.
God, the wind.
Go themselves. I'll be dead soon.
You heard it here first.
Wow. What a mess. What a mess this thing is. Let's take a look at clip number 6. For people wondering, this is from yesterday. This is not from today. This is from yesterday's Trump rally. And, oh, this guy. Okay, so listen, before I play this one. Some of these people. Okay, let me figure out how to say this. The beliefs of the non-mentally ill folks that are part of this movement are so crazy that it can be genuinely difficult to know who is simply a cult member, who's ignorant, who's mentally ill, and who's a little bit of all of them. And that certainly is a question during this.
We lose the war. Was it before any of us were born, or our parents or ancestors were born, or was it the Native Americans in the beginning, or were the white people the original occupants of America, and then they got pushed out by? Now, I'm not saying I love hip hop. Culture of hip hop is like embedded into me. So I'm like,
Embedded.
black soul.
We looked at this clip yesterday. The guy made up the word. It was embedded.
My body, not sure. But I still have my soul, and like the soul of America is like slowly dissipating. And where did it go? I thought the best was yet to come. How's the metaverse? Tell me about the metaverse.
You tell me.
I fall asleep and I'm there sometimes, and most of the time I drink or smoke some weed. And, you know, like, I don't know. If you jump out of an airplane in the metaverse, can you feel the wind?
What? How did we get there?
Yeah. So we saw that one yesterday. I'll just keep going.
What do you want to hear from Donald Trump tonight?
Oh, this is the guy with the Catholic conspiracy. If you missed this last night, this is pretty whacked.
Make America great again.
And what has made it not great?
What has made it not great is what's going on right now. Open borders, high inflation, everything that's going on right now is just diametrically opposed. The economy, the taxes, 86,000 IRS agents. I mean, we have all night. I mean, the moon will set tomorrow by the time
So, like you said, there's so many issues. Let's zero in on one. Inflation. Are you saying you blame Joe Biden for inflation?
Well, when you sit there and you stop fossil fuels and the country's running out of diesel in 17 days and no trucks, no boats, no plane, nothing's going to be moving, yeah, you might want to open up fossil fuels. I think this is coming. I think it's coming from the Vatican. The Vatican's meeting today.
See how he hesitated before going into the insane conspiracy theory? He hesitated half a second, then he's like, I'm going to do it.
We're world leaders. At Mount Sinai, Joe Biden's getting his marching orders from the Jesuit oath. If you open up the Jesuit, and this might look crazy to these people, I don't really care.
Totally reasonable.
Google the Jesuit oath. When Joe Biden was elected president, he opened up with a Jesuit priest on a Jesuit Bible. We've had two
super suspicious
Roman Catholic presidents in this country, and Joe Biden has taken orders. Just read the Jesuit oath. That explains so much of everything.
Yep. So that's a pretty full-on conspiracy there. That's bonkers stuff. Welcome to Jason Martin, newest member at joinpacman.com. Welcome also to Cameron Lore, number 746 today. And welcome to Ken Dombowski. Appreciate the support, number 747. Also want to say thanks to Travesty, Henio GBF, Mr. Laugh-A-Lot, and an anonymous gifter on Twitch, putting us at 751. Ladies and gentlemen, we are heading towards 1,000. Kendrick says Luke is doing amazing. Yeah, Luke doing really, really well. I think we have time to finish these out. We've just got 2 more of these. Okay, here's a couple of young ladies. Let's listen to this one. This is from last night in Latrobe, Pennsylvania.
And you, no. I'm not sure he's even, whatever.
No, and if
You're not sure he's what?
I don't even know if he's president.
Really?
This woman doesn't think Biden's the president right now. Completely reasonable belief.
I do question that.
Who do you think is the real president?
Donald Trump. I think he'll be back any day, under military assignment.
Ooh, whoa, okay. But this is the thing with that I gotta filter out. He is attacking Biden's performance as president. But he's the real president?
Yes.
Guys, why is that weird? Luke, why is that so strange? Is it why? I mean, it's perfectly reasonable.
Yes, he is.
So he's to blame for inflation?
No.
I believe
well, no, he's not. I believe there's a show going on. I'm believing he's letting this happen.
Right. Here's the reality, guys, okay? Trump's the president. But it's not his fault that there's inflation. He's allowing Biden to raise inflation, which of course ultimately makes him responsible for inflation. But it's not his fault. But he's the real president. But it's Biden's fault when anything bad happens.
To show people what this world would be without actually God's letting this happen, because he took
it's not Trump. Okay, so sorry guys. God, despite Trump being president, God is allowing Biden to raise inflation, even though Biden isn't really the president. There we go.
Totally has command. Biden is completely, hello. Have you talked?
That's the Tucker laugh. That's the Tucker laugh.
Have you heard him talk? Who votes for someone like that? This ain't real. This is not a real thing. Okay, well, I'm just going to make this prediction to you because I believe it. Ready? Donald Trump is going to take back over. Every executive order that Biden put in will be gone that very second he takes back over.
The lady in the middle does not seem to be buying this crap. The lady in the middle, I think, is like, ooh, this is some weird shit even for me.
And you were saying, I heard the beginning of this, that the military was going to do that?
Yes, they're in control right now.
The military is in control. Wait, so hold on. Is Trump president? Is God in control? The military is in control? What's going on? Thanks to Fun for gifting 3 subscriptions via Twitch. I very much appreciate that. Should we look at that's the craziest clip. Let's, I guess, look at the last one. Luke warned me this is a long one, but that it's one of the craziest ones.
I'm pretty far down the rabbit hole, so I don't know what I think right now. So
what does that mean? Describe that for me.
Well, it's just everything that's going on in the world and has been going on in the world, and I mean, it's a lot of we'll call it conspiracy theories, you know.
Just for the heck of it, for the game, what would you say your most wild conspiracy theory would be?
I like Luke. Whoops, hold on.
I guess there's really not a.
I like Luke's. Let me just refresh this. I like Luke's instinct to go right in for the wackiest. I would frame it a different way. This is like a little tip for Luke. I would instead say something, because this guy is completely clueless, so he doesn't realize it. But in some cases, you don't want to make it obvious that you think they're nuts. So I would go something like, what's the belief that you get the most pushback about? Right? You could make it a little more neutral to them, even though you're actually asking the exact same thing.
A wildest one. I mean, they're all conspiracy theories until they're proven true or the masses believe them. So, I mean, there's been some wild ones over the time, you know, with all the child sex trafficking and Donald Trump being the first.
Is he talking about Matt Gaetz?
President to fight against that. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's the truth.
So child sex trafficking, huge problem. Totally agree with you. That should be addressed. It's the connection, I guess, to like it's the Democratic Party who's doing this and Biden's in the back room.
It's good versus evil. It's not Republican versus Democrat. There are a lot of evil people in the world, period, whether they're Democrat or they're Republican rhinos. And they're bad for the party, bad for the country. And
does Trump's relationship with Epstein before he died bother you at all?
I don't think so. No,
doesn't bother you?
I don't think so. No,
Gotcha.
It doesn't bother me because if anything, I would think that it would be like an inside. You know what I mean? Like he was on the inside getting intel. Like,
can you believe that? So this is a clinic on critical thinking. That's an unfalsifiable belief. That's the typical comment where, so this guy puts together an idea where he says, I believe that there is this issue of child sex trafficking and blah, 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 blah. Well, what about, is that Democrat, Republican? No, it's everybody. Oh, okay. So like Trump with Epstein. No, Trump with Epstein was Trump doing undercover work on the inside. Trump was doing undercover work on the inside. Oh, okay.
same thing he did with the mafia people that stayed in his hotels, and they were getting information back years ago in Trump hotels.
So he's playing Epstein.
I think so, yes.
Interesting. Would this fall under QAnon?
QAnon is what was made up by the mainstream media. It's either Q and then you have Anons, which are anonymous people that follow it. So the whole thing that was put together as QAnon, that isn't a real entity. That was something that
would you say, yes, Q...
Is this guy one of the Anons?
Has sent me some of my information.
You have Anons, which are anonymous people that disseminate the Q posts and everything else. So QAnon is not per se a person or a group or an entity.
Gotcha. That makes sense. And I guess I'm saying the beliefs that the Anons subscribe to would be in line with yours.
Would be Q.
Which is in line with yours.
Yeah, well, yes.
Yeah. Yes. So the answer, after that 2-minute explanation, yes, this is one of the Anons who follows Q. Okay, good.
Gotcha. And so then, whew, that's wild. I'm sorry. It's really...
Like I said, dude, I'm dying over having...
This is a lot even for Luke, who's been to a bunch of these.
Oh, I'm pretty... Yeah, I mean, I've been following this stuff for...
So, I mean, like, is this... So, again, is this a cult member? Is this a mentally ill person? Is this simply an ignorant person? Is it a combination of the three? I don't know.
For 2 years now, since the election, since he lost the election before with the fraud and everything else.
Right. So you're a real trooper for like engaging with this. So let me ask you, do you have moments where you go, shoot, maybe this is all not true?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's not true, but there's moments of despair that nothing's happening, nothing's gonna happen. So yeah, it's a roller coaster. It is. It's been an emotional roller coaster for two plus years now.
Yeah. Because I would plead with you as someone who doesn't subscribe to those things and have gone through the process through the proper evidence and the proper outlets and sources that you should go to for your information, come to the conclusion that I'll say in a second, come to the conclusion that a lot of these things that seem really scary actually aren't true.
Yeah, they just don't exist.
And it's nice knowing that the truth isn't as bonkers as you might believe it is.
Oh, that is nicely done. That's good.
So I would implore you that maybe the world isn't as much of like the story you've been told that it is.
What if it is?
Okay, well, do we have evidence for that is the next question. Very, very nicely done there by Luke. Excellent. So we'll have some of those clips on the podcast tomorrow. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast. Thank you to Chatbot Brian for a Twitch Prime subscription. And thank you to S. Prez for dumping in 50 more subscriptions via Twitch. Very much appreciate that. Bernie Sanders will be speaking here momentarily, and we will be hearing from him. And it is yet another rally night in America, as we are just 24 hours from certainly I don't want to be hyperbolic, the most important midterm elections I've ever covered. I will put it there. And beyond that, I guess I'm not necessarily prepared to go. I am streaming nightly. Tomorrow night, let me give you the updated schedule. Tomorrow night, I will be live at 7:30 East, 4:30 West with I believe it's an Obama rally as well as a Trump rally. Tomorrow, I don't know if everything's in Ohio. Hold on a second. Barack Obama rally, November 7, 2022. Let's see where Obama is tomorrow. Monday. November 7. Nope, that's not working. Where on earth? Okay, I don't remember where Obama is tomorrow. But in any case, I will be live tomorrow. I know it's exhausting. It's completely exhausting. And then we will be live Tuesday with election results. And those election results may be absolutely insane. I hate to tell people about it. So best thing you can do, and I'm going to say this again, you don't have to support this show. You really don't have to. I would love for you to. The right supports all of it. They support the on-campus groups. They donate to the elected officials. They support the independent media. They buy Mark Levin's books. They support Charlie Kirk's show. Tool C's like, I'm now an independent, but I'm endorsing all these Republicans. They're supporting Tool C. Okay. The left doesn't always do that. So whatever shows, independent shows, support them. Okay. Whoever it is that you like. If you like me, get a membership at joinpacman.com. Dump in a membership via Twitch Prime. By the way, do people understand? If you have if you have Amazon Prime, you can get a free Twitch Prime subscription. You're just taking a few bucks from Jeff Bezos and sending them to us. It costs you nothing, okay? The right is doing it. And with Trump expected to announce next Monday that he's running in 2024, with Republicans expected to take at least the House on Tuesday, we're screwed, folks, if we don't build the infrastructure the way that they do. I wish it wasn't the case. I really do. Eric says via Super Chat, David, big fan. Have you talked about the Tuesday morning blood moon yet? And if it's being discussed among these conspiracy types? I don't know anything about it. What, is there a blood moon on Tuesday? And the Q people are going completely bonkers? Wouldn't surprise me. Not super interesting, I have to say. But it sounds about right. Thanks to the Round Trip and Creampus for subscribing via Twitch Prime. Alonzo Garbanzo is member 808 today. Folks, we're doing it. People are asking for coupon codes. Take the coupon codes, folks. They're available. Coupon code Obama. Coupon code Indict. Coupon code Sad Trump. Use them. Use them. Absolutely. Why not? Frosty Robot is new member number 809. Denver says via Super Chat, if you don't share more gardening updates, I'm going to demand a separate gardening channel. So I hope this won't cause anyone to cancel their membership. I filled in my garden. I took down the beds and filled it all in. With the baby. I just did not have time for the garden. And I just said, it's over. And the wood was starting to rot and different things. So I broke down my raised garden beds. I took what I could from the standpoint of fruits and fresh vegetables. Hold on. Do I have that here?
Fresh vegetables.
There it is. And I distributed the soil, and that's it. The garden for the time being is over, and someday it may come back. All right. I've been, yeah, exactly. New baby plus full-time job plus all of these other things, election. I want to say thanks to Madman as well as Starfrost for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, putting us at 811. 811. Also, welcome to Firehawk, new member 812 today. Let's listen to a couple of voicemails. Let's do it. Absolutely.
Hey, David, it's James. I was wondering, are you affiliated with the Young Turks?
I am not. Let's see what else.
Dude, it's John again. I'm still watching the show and doing the rally. Here I am.
Sounds like this guy's at a rally.
Pause it, but or mute it. But Mike Lindell, I'm telling you, this guy He's not running for anything. He ruined his whole life for nothing.
I know.
For nothing.
It really is great. Well, he's friends with Trump now, so I guess his life isn't totally ruined. Welcome to Effin' Wicked, as well as Tommel Bommel for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, putting us at 814. How high do I believe we can go? I believe that we can get to 1,000 by tomorrow's stream, and that on election night, we can make a push for 2,000, which would be the record for memberships in just a short period of time. Thanks to Twisted View Labs for the Twitch Prime subscription. You're number 815. And welcome to Crystal Alyssa, who just signed up on my website and is number 816. Let's listen to just a few other voicemails as we stand by for Bernie.
Hey, David, it's Tommy. I'm watching your live stream of the Trump rally in Pennsylvania. Kenneth Copeland, was he praying to God or was he praying to Trump? I really, honestly, I couldn't tell at this.
I couldn't tell either. I genuinely couldn't. Here's the Eggman with an update from Florida.
Hey, Dave. I'm visiting my parents in Florida and watching their cable. I'm watching OAN for the first time ever. And 2,000 Mules is on.
Right.
I'm watching 2,000 Mules. Mules, 2 Utes. 2 mules. Did I say that right? It's awesome. Shalom, brother.
Yeah. Sounds like quite a party down in Florida for the Eggman, I have to tell you. Zane says, thank you for everything, sir. Hope we get those pesky machines soon.
We're doing a class action lawsuit against all machines.
Well said. Well said.
Pac-Man.
Oh, this is the San Antonio troll. Let's see.
What a dude. Hey, I bet you are furious. I've seen your tweets. Yes, that you're losing that check mark. Oh, man, he was so mad.
As usual, the San Antonio troll is leaving me voicemails about things I haven't talked about. I have not tweeted about being mad about losing a check mark on Twitter. It looks like I still have it for now. It says this account is verified because it's notable in government news, entertainment, or another designated category. I don't care. Take my blue check mark. It doesn't make any difference to me. Thanks to Chewy, who says aloha from Kauai. Very, very important stuff. Couple other voicemails here. Let's see what we've got.
Hi, David. I love your show. And what is better than a Trump rally on a Saturday night? What always comes to my mind when he asks that question is a colonoscopy.
Okay. All right. Well, that's tough. D. Goldstrom has subscribed with Twitch Prime and is asking for a few Trump glitches. Sure.
I've had more investigations than Jesse James, Billy the Could. No more Dropbox. The Dropbox is we have to keep our country gay.
Sepha Hyde.
Americans of all walks of life rose up.
Donald Trump. Yeah, Donald Trump.
Swami Vive Kamunand. Suchin Tendolkar Duvirat Kohli. Namaste.
Namaste. Well said. Thanks to Frank Melk for gifting 2 subscriptions on Twitch, and welcome to Soylent Green as well, putting us at 820. One of my favorites is not actually a Trump one.
President Donald J. Trump.
Donald J. Trumped. Something about that is just perfect.
President Donald J. Trump.
Man, that is really something else. I do like that one, I have to admit. We're standing by for Bernie Sanders, scheduled to speak momentarily. We will be live tomorrow night. It will be the eve of election 2022, live at 7:30. We will have an Obama rally and a Trump rally. The video now seems to have frozen during the Bernie rally, which is unfortunate. Let's see if we can get it back. The feed is totally frozen. Why is that? I don't understand. We've lost the feed, even though we are watching it. David, sir, seeing a lot of right-wingers on Twitter fuming over Trump's Ron DeSanctimonious comment. Can't believe that's what is turning them off. I know, it's pathetic. These people are such snowflakes. Jeff Jorgensen is a new member at joinpacman.com and his new member number 821. Also, welcome to Tyrone Brim, signing up with the coupon code OBAMNA. Always welcoming that. I don't understand what is happening. Let's see if I can get another feed. Our future Bernie rally live stream, because this is not good. It's not good at all, actually. So it's dead. Let's see if maybe Bernie has a feed. No, it's frozen on Bernie's website. It seems like we are at the mercy of this particular stream. If you go to Bernie's website, this is the stream that they're running, and it just froze. We'll give it a second. It looks like the internet tube. Oh, hold on. Are we back? They blacked it out. Maybe that's going to get us back. Next Gen America. Let's see if I Google that. No, they don't seem to have anything on their website. Next Gen America live stream. Events. Let's check out their website. They don't even put the streams on there. Well, we'll monitor it. Hopefully it happens soon. I mean, it's a bit anticlimactic. We got to get Mike Pillow's cyber guys on this, is my belief at this point. I don't know. This is definitely weird. Let's just see if I go to Bernie, Philadelphia, and filter by live. It's just this stream. This is literally the only stream of the event. And it's blacked out on Bernie's Twitch channel. Yeah, so it's the main feed. Thanks to Zaboom Afu for the Twitch Prime subscription. You're number 823. We'll do a couple more voicemails just while we wait here.
Hey, David. This is fake Troy York. Really upset that you stopped playing the real Troy York's voicemails.
I know. They're just so boring. Okay, the feed is back, but there's no audio. It's not muted.
Snuck in 36 young organizers and...
Okay. So the same speech is continuing, and it seems we should very soon be hearing from Bernie Sanders. In the meantime, we'll do just a couple other voicemails. Let's see what else we've got here.
Hey, so at the Pennsylvania rally here, Trump, you're live streaming it right now. He just said the words, "I'm going to drop another one." So I'm sure you caught it, but you want to clip that audio and mash it up with the massive dumps.
We want Trump's real clips are so crazy that we don't need to, make up more. We don't need to edit together more. Thanks to Meaty Legs, who's new member 824 today. Let's see what else we have here.
David, Brian from Wilmington here. I'm begging you, sir. I have tears in my eyes. Please give us an update on the machines.
Yeah, they've taken over, essentially.
David, Brian from Wilmington here.
Yeah.
I started following you based on your pillow coverage, and I really haven't seen anybody else cover Pillow the way that you cover Pillow, and I just want to thank you from the Pillow fan community.
My absolute pleasure, sir. Thank you very, very much. Thanks to Starry Night and The Giver for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, 825 and 826. They are moving the lectern, which can only mean that they are bringing on an appropriate lectern for Bernie Sanders. It must be that. I can only imagine. That has to be what is taking place here. Other voicemails coming in. Let's see what we've got. A lot of strange voicemails, but I'm trying to get to some good ones. Oh, more the Eggman checking in again from Florida.
Hey, brother, I'm leaving for Florida again this morning. I just want you to know I always fly in my David Pakman shirt.
Nice.
I don't know why, but I always do. I will take a pic with me and my elderly pop-pop in front of Mar-a-Lago. I'll send it to you. Shalom, brother.
That sounds good. I would absolutely love to see that.
Hey, David, it's James. I was wondering if you heard that Michael Moore is currently predicting that there will be a blue wave on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Mainly because of Roe versus Wade being overturned.
Right.
I think that there's not going to be a blue wave, but there's not going to be as much of a red wave as polls are indicating, simply because the voter turnout so far, it's last I checked, it was high among young people, and it's high among mail-in ballots, which Democrats are more likely to choose.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I have no idea. Just we each get one vote. Let's make sure to use it. That's my idea. Rob Sheldrick says, David, sir, I need a little lift from the rally nuttery. Drummer to drummer. Who's your top all-time drummers? I'm going Neil Peart and Taylor Hawkins. Oh, I have so many drummers that I like. I couldn't possibly just name a couple. I mean, in no particular order. Steve Gadd is great, and Vinny Colaiuta. I mean, it's so hard to even say. I like Steve Smith. There's just so many. I know it's almost cliche, but Buddy Rich really was fantastic. And Chad Smith is great for that genre. Yes, of course, Taylor Hawkins and Neil Peart, absolutely fantastic. There's just so many, so many great drummers. Stuart Copeland, yeah, I like Stuart Copeland, absolutely. There's many, no shortage of great drummers. Let's see what we got.
Hey, Dave, this is Tommy. I was thinking about why your daughter is smiling so beautifully in your recent post. It's because she subscribed to the David Pakman Show on YouTube for free.
That's true.
And
my daughter already has 14 YouTube accounts, and they're all subscribed to the channel, which is crazy.
Using a dangerously low coupon code, she...
Oh, no. She's paying full price, believe me.
Website member. Thanks. Bye.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
So, I was reading about Kanye and some of the things that he said having to do with World War II, and he really seems to not understand what it means to be a woman. I think he's part of the transgender agenda.
I'm not totally sure that I understand that voicemail. I'm just not exactly sure of it. Yeah. But that's okay. I don't have to understand all of the voicemails. It's okay.
David Pakman, sir, I am tremendously honored to be speaking with you. I was just watching your show, really tremendous numbers, some of the best numbers I think anyone has ever seen. And somebody had just called in about Guatemala and how to respond to essentially genocide denial. And the human rights report by the Guatemalan Truth Commission found very, very extensive evidence of just absolutely horrific massacres of just innocent people on suspicion.
Okay, I'm going to get away from this because I can see from looking at the transcript that the caller doesn't even get their full point in. Like they go the full 3 minutes and then they get cut off. And because it's quite niche, Guatemalan massacres right now, it's a bit niche. So I'm going to skip it for this venue, but it is a subject I hope to get back to. I want to say thanks to Metacule for the Twitch Prime subscription, and also thanks to Rebecca Gray. Rebecca, thank you. Rebecca just signed up on my website, and if you can believe it, it's hard to believe, is new member number 828 in our push for 1,000 new subscribers. Let's see what else we've got.
Hey, David. This is Caitlin from Florida. I'm on the road listening to your Friday show, and I heard a caller asking about, like, the lazy person's voter guide to see who you want to vote for.
Yeah.
And although I don't have any resources for specifically progressively endorsed candidates, but my go-to when people ask me, oh, I don't know what to vote for, and maybe they aren't even particularly politically involved, I like to send them to League of Women Voters. So if you go on the League of Women Voters site, you can look specifically where you're going to vote.
Yes, League of Women's Voters actually has a really good platform for that. Good recommendation.
Yo, David, my man. Are we going to expect a 2024 presidential run from you? Or are we going to leave that to Kamala Harris? You got my vote, man.
Well, I appreciate that, but I can't legally run for president. I was not born in the United States, and under current law, I would be ineligible to be president of the United States. Bob says, I always pay full price for my memberships. Never take your discount, you freaking predator. Also, you forgot Clem Burke as best drummer. Not someone whose work I'm familiar with, I must admit. Not familiar there. Let's see if we have anything else here. A lot of voicemails that are sadly unplayable, but some are playable, and that's a really great thing.
At one time, Trump said he brings in all the best people, yet his pardon list, when he left office, included 90% of his staff.
Well, that's because they were treated very unfairly. You know how Trump likes to say that? Those people were treated very, very unfairly. That's what's going on. So he wouldn't have needed to pardon them were they not treated very, very unfairly. That's super straightforward.
Hey, David, it's Jason in Austin. I was watching the Trump rally from last night. I missed it live, so I'm watching it this morning. And I don't know how long am I into this thing and I'm dying. When Marjorie Greene is talking about how great Melania is, and in the background, Ozzy Osbourne Crazy Train is going. All right, new rule. Anytime she says anything, that has to be playing in the background. That is the best accidental mashup.
It was very, very good. That was absolutely a very interesting moment, for sure. Let's see if we can listen to maybe one more here. Skipping the Troy York stuff.
Hey, David, sir. It's Cassandra in beautiful San Diego.
Welcome.
Love your show as usual. I watch all of the streaming rallies and debates. But I want to let you know it's 41 degrees in Sioux City. I just checked it out. And also, I'm pretty sure Trump said waste station instead of way station. So I thought you'd enjoy that. So take care. Keep it up.
All right. Thank you very, very, very much. Folks, I'm being notified that it actually could be over an hour until Bernie actually comes out. And that's just not going to work for my schedule. I have to get to bedtime for the baby soon. So I don't know what we should do. Let's listen to what's going on. Okay, a lot's happening here. Maybe we just have to call it and pick it up tomorrow. I don't want to dither around if then I'm going to have to end up bailing. Oh, and a lot of people are saying it doesn't work for me either. Yeah. And viewers are kind of hemorrhaging. All right, you know what? We might call it, and then we'll pick it up tomorrow. Yeah, we'll pick it up tomorrow. So we've got the Obama rally tomorrow. We also have the Trump rally tomorrow.
Obama.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm coming.
I know. Trump's getting very excited about all these rallies, but he will be in Ohio tomorrow. So we'll pick it up then. We have multiple streams coming up. I think we will all survive. Listen, let me give you the short version of the Bernie rally, which is in Philly. Vote for John Fetterman. Vote for Josh Shapiro. Vote for John Fetterman. Vote for Josh Shapiro. Thank you to S. Prez for dumping in 20 more Twitch Prime memberships. We will see everybody tomorrow, 7:30 tomorrow.